Good morning, class 7B, and a warm welcome back. So, oh, okay, you have got a cough and cold. So, Obidu, please take rest. But I mean, whenever you can drink water also, if you want anytime. Yes, Shuranjan, you can start presenting.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is my project on which I have done. Shisha Suri, 1470-22 May 1545. This was the day when he was born. His real name was Farid Khan, was a founder of Suri Empire in India, with its capital in Sasaram in modern days Bihar. He introduced the currency of rupees and ethnic Pashtun ruler. Shisha took control of the Mughal Empire in 1540 after his accidental death in 1545. His son, Islam Shah, he first served as a private before rising to become a commander in the Mughal army under Babur, and when the governor of Bihar in 1537, when Babur's son Humayun was elsewhere on an expedition.
Okay,
Shesha over.
one thing, Shuranjan, whenever you are taking things from the net, please, you know, these letter 9, letter 2, the number 2, these are basically hyperlinks. You need to remove them. Try to frame things in your own words and remove these smaller things. Maintain a single handwriting and font size as well. Okay, can you explain the timeline to me from here?
From this.
Yes. Can you explain the timeline? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Region 1537 to 22nd May 1537 to 22nd May in 1545.
Next.
Coronation 18th. Ma'am, I did
May.
a careless
18th
mistake.
May.
Yes, ma'am. I missed the A. In 1538. Predecessor. Humayun as Mughal
predecessor.
Predecessor and successor.
Humayun was in. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I tell the predecessor? Humayun was introduced as the Mughal emperor. Successor Islam Shesha Suri.
Right. Now, can you tell me which were the battles fought between Humayun and Sher Shah?
Ma'am, at Chausa and in Connaught.
Right, Chausa and Connaught. So, can you tell me what was the outcome of the battles? What happened?
Babur.
At the Battle of Chausa and Connaught, what happened?
Ma'am,
who won the battles and who lost?
Ma'am, Humayun lost.
Humayun lost. Okay, continue.
Ma'am, I messed up a page. That last page was the
picture. You need not read the picture. You can start the fun facts.
It is a fun. These are the fun facts about Shesha's land revenue. Firstly, it is pointed out that he could not completely root out the Jagirdar system, which had taken deep roots in the Afghan society. Shesha was the first Muslim ruler who got the whole of the land measured and fixed the land tax on it on just and fair principles. But suitable subsidy was granted to the farmers in time of drought, famine, or flaws from the royal treasury.
Can you explain this point? What do you mean by suitable subsidy was granted to the farmers?
Yes, ma'am, in the time of drought, famine.
During the time of droughts and famines, what happened?
Ma'am, their home, ma'am, I can introduce this.
You
I
need
can
to
explain.
understand the point that you are putting in. So at the time of drought, or if there is a crop failure, the crop did not grow well, so they did not have to pay a very high tax. The amount of tax that had to be paid, it was reduced. Okay, so they had to pay a less amount of tax, so that there is not too much of burden on the farmer.
It was suitable for them, the tax.
Next.
The land of each peasant was measured first in bighas, and then half of it was fixed as a land tax. According to more land in certain portions of the empire, such as Multan, the land tax was, however, 1/4 of the total to produce. The settlement made between the government in respect to the land revenue was always put in black and white. Every peasant was given as written document in which the share of the government was clearly mentioned, so that no uncorruption
Unscrupulous officer might
unscrupulous
cheat.
officer might cheat the innocent peasant. This is known as pat. Ma'am, this was written
Patta.
in the book. Yes, ma'am.
So what was the
peasants-
importance of the patta, if I ask you, Shuranjan? How was patta
Yes,
important?
ma'am. Ma'am, in the a document was given to the peasant in the proof of their assessment, which was called the patta.
My question is why was it important?
Ma'am, if that was not there, then other can tell that that is there and cheat them.
So that they don't charge extra and cheat them. Okay, yes, good. Next point.
The peasants were required to credit the land tax direct to government treasury to be on the safe side, so that the collecting officers might not charge them any extra money. Ma'am, I have to skip one fact because it is highlighted. Oh, I can do it. Orders had been issued to the revenue authorities that leniency might
Leniency.
be
What do you mean by
shown while-
leniency? Not to be very strict.
Yes, ma'am. Fixing the land tax, but strictness in the collection thereof should be the inevitable rule.
Okay.
Thirdly,
Next point.
it is
Why did you start writing with thirdly? What you are taking is very important. Continue. Next slide.
Yes, ma'am. Sher established the per Begha land, which was also called the Ray, for the lands under continuous cultivation, and the lands were kept out of the cultivation. Temporarily, Ray was average of 3 rates, representing good, middle, and low yields. This Ray system was afterwards adopted by Akbar.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, these are some facts to know about Sher Shah.
Okay, you can
How
go to
much
the next
land
slide.
tax? Yes, ma'am. And this is a thing which was written by me. He was a very powerful ruler who have a great position on the history. He was the most relevant ruler of his and helped, of his region, and helped every ruler by his administrative policy. From of those, I added my small contribution about his on these policies. He had a person who came out from struggles faced from his stepmother. Yes.
You are saying Sher Shah was a very good administrator. Can you tell me 2 good points and 2 bad points of him as a ruler? Any 2 good things and any 2 bad things that comes to your mind? You can stop screen sharing. Thank you, Shuranjan.
Ma'am,
Yes,
Yes.
Shubhayan, get ready.
Ma'am, in Shershah's time, where the bank systems were
Ma'am.
there.
Not
Ma'am,
really this kind of banking that you are. Not really the kind of banking that we are talking about. I know, Shinjana, many are
Ma'am.
left. Wait, you have to wait. I'll give everyone the chance. Hold on.
Ma'am, Shershah built excellent networks of road and removed certain taxes.
So as a ruler, he was a very, he took care of his people. Okay. And anything
Yes,
else?
ma'am.
Any negative point that comes to your mind?
No, ma'am. Not any negative points.
Okay. One thing is, while he went on fighting and all, he was very, very clear that I have to win. So he could take any policy for winning. Okay, continue. Shubhayan, please start sharing.
Okay, ma'am. I have a
After
question.
Shubhayan, I want Kamogno to be ready. I'm
Ma'am, I
going
just have.
backwards.
Can you see? Ma'am, can you see now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ma'am. First, I give the introduction of Shershah Suri. Shershah Suri was the founder of the Sur Sultanate, which was a short-lived sultanate, but was a very much prominent sultanate in India. He was born to a Afghan Jagirdar. He was born as Farid Khan. In 1527, he joined the army of Babur, and he married Rani Shah Suri and acquired the fort of Chunar. After Babur's death, Shershah captured Gaur, the capital of Bengal. Then Humayun and Shershah fought two battles, Battle of Kannauj and Chausa, and in the Humayun lost both of them, and in the Battle of Kannauj, Humayun had to fled to Persia, and Shershah became the Shah of Hindustan.
Okay.
He died, and
one question I have here, that's all right. My question here is, if you compare Humayun and Babur as rulers, who do you think is better and why?
Shershah is a better ruler because
Humayun and Babur.
Then Babur was a better ruler than Humayun, because Humayun was not strict with his army and was very lenient and was very casual. But Babur was not casual. He was a better administrator than Humayun.
Humayun was not casual with his army, but his war techniques. He was not as efficient in war techniques and all as his father.
Yes.
Okay. Next, go ahead.
I chose Shershah Suri's military. First fact, how could he manage his huge army? He maintained a record of his soldiers so that there is no corruption between them. He also followed Alauddin Khilji's policy of branding horses, and he set up many cantonments which were connected to the massive GT road. How much army did Shershah had? Shershah had 1,50,000 cavalry, 25,000 infantry, 3,000 war elephants, and 5,000 artilleries. In total, he had almost 1.83 lakh. He had an army of 1.83 lakh, which was actually very huge. And then, what was his war strategy? He used a strategy like Babur, but not totally like Babur. His strategy was called Tabur Sengi. He used two right and left flanks. In the upper portion, I've given the image also. In the upper portion, there are the cannons, and in the just behind the cannons there are matchlockmen, and the red long bar is actually the king with the horses, and in the backward there is a moving army. And the last fact is that Shershah also introduced a new type of gun called matchlocks. He introduced the new currency called rupee, and also introduced cannon, a new type of cannon which was carryable through camels. and used gunpowders. Thank you.
Okay, so you could have given one or two more points, but the points that you have given is correct and interesting, but some more points I asked, minimum 8 points. Anyway, so Shubhayan, my question to you is, how relevant do you think Sher Shah's policies were during that time, and what can we apply even now?
The policies which were used by Sher Shah were actually applicable for the 15th century era, but it can't be applicable for the 21st century now.
So if I tell you Sher Shah never maintained the full army together in the central part, he used to divide it and put it under.
Yes, he
different
divided it.
So now
Yes.
also do we keep the entire army in Delhi, or do we divide it and send it to different borders of the country?
We send it to different borders.
So how
Different
can
borders.
in a modified way there can
it's a
be
bait
allies
strategy,
as well, you can say.
Maybe it's a bait strategy. If one attacks, the other can attack the one who has attacked.
Yes,
Bait
so
strategy.
it's a balanced approach. Okay, Shubhayam, thank you.
Okay.
Good. Now,
Ma'am, I have a
Tomogno.
question.
Tomogno, are you ready?
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, Aratrika, put it in the chat box. Let me see. Shombudhu, after this, the holidays will start. Okay, children, 1 minute. Tamogna, before you start, I would like to say that all of you, have you got the Akbar study material that I have mailed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
This is
Yes,
a
ma'am, you
request.
It's
mailed
quite
it
big.
What you will do
Friday.
is read Akbar from the book, and in the study material, it's just given in points, and there are few extra things. Okay, so while I teach, I will go on telling you. I will start with Akbar after the holidays. So Akbar and the rulers.
Ma'am, the
after
most of the things in the study material is written in the book.
Yes, absolutely. It's just given in points. So I told you we made it last year for the easy understanding of the children. So you all can read this, and they got the books a little late also. Hence we made it all this. So I gave it to you all because it's given in points nicely. You all can read that. You all can write down the extra things in your book or in your copy from the study material. And we will start with Akbar after this. After this, I'll not keep any class for sharing. Whoever will be left, I will give you some time later on, maybe, after the main class when school reopens, or I will mail you regarding this. Start, come on.
Ma'am, we will finish Akbar and the post-Akbar era within January.
Yeah, you will. Or first week
Then
of
we will have
February,
the
maybe.
orals.
Max to max, first week of February, not more than that. I don't think so.
ma'am, what is our last chapter?
This is mainly your last chapter. This is the Mughal Empire, which is your main chapter because you have finished civics. But
No
you
composite
will be
culture.
doing one more topic, which we do it from class 8. We give you an understanding. of
Vijayanagar and
Renaissance.
which is called
Renaissance.
Renaissance. Yes.
Renaissance.
Okay,
Vijayanagar.
Tamogno, continue.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Tamogno, start.
Tomogna, you are audible, but your voice is low.
I can't hear anything.
Ma'am, now?
Yes, very faintly. Okay.
Ma'am, 1 minute. 1 minute.
After Tamogno, Shrinika, be ready.
Okay.
Ma'am, now can you hear me?
Okay, continue.
Ma'am, I made this on Sher Shah's administration. The introduction is that Sher Shah was the founder of the Sultanate in India and was possibly the most powerful man at that time. He was born in 1486 to Hasan Suri, who was an Afghan Jagirdar or landowner of Sasaram, Bihar. Sher Shah's real name was Farid Khan, but he received the title Sher Khan after killing a tiger on his own. Sher Shah entered the service of Babur in 1527, where he studied the Mughal military techniques rapidly. Sher Shah acquired the fort of Chunar through marriage and became powerful in the region around Bihar and Bengal. When Humayun was busy fighting Bahadur Shah, Sher Shah conquered Gaur, the then capital of Bengal. Sher Shah defeated Humayun twice, once at Chausa in 1539 and again in Kannauj.
You are very low, very low. Okay, go to the next
can you
slide.
raise your volume?
Well, ma'am, will I stop share 1 minute?
No, you just increase the volume. Or do you have problem? Then I will go ahead. I can come back to you.
Go to audio settings, Tomogno, and then increase the
Now-
Yes, Tomogno,
Yeah, now-
adjust that. In the meantime, Shrinika start sharing.
Yes, ma'am, he is audible now.
Ma'am, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Much better. Okay, go to the next slide. This one I have seen and heard, whatever is needed. He defeated.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am, these are the interesting facts about Sher Shah Suri's military administration. His army had a 150,000 cavalry, 25,000 infantry, and 3,000 war elephants. He paid his soldiers regularly in cash. He kept his own personal army known as the Khasa Kail. He continued the Dag and Chehra system of Alauddin Khalji. He built an excellent network of roads to ensure quick movements of troops during war. The minister in charge of the army was known as Diwan-e-Ariz. He completed building the Purana Quilla, which has walls rising up to a height of 18 meters and has a length of 1.5 kilometers. In World War II, the Purana Quilla also served as a camp to around 3,000 Japanese soldiers. He introduced a silver coin called Rupiah, which weighed 178 grams, and a gold coin called Muhar, which weighed 169 grams, and a copper coin called Dam. He introduced an efficient revenue system which was put into proper use in a proper way in Akbar's reign. He standardized weights and measures. He divided his large empire into smaller divisions to maintain efficient control over his kingdom. Ma'am, these were the interesting facts, and this is the conclusion. Sher Shah's policies of administration and military techniques were unique and highly effective. The policies we can put to use even today are: we should keep wide and concrete roads to ensure quick movements of troops during war and for general use. We too have divided our countries into smaller parts for more efficient rule. We should put in place a more powerfully operating police system. We should also keep a standard land revenue system.
So you have worked on the entire administration in general. Add some pictures while you are saying, okay, your points are all absolutely fine. Aratrika has put forward a question. Let's see if Tomogno can answer this. Aratrika's question is, ma'am, while I was doing research, I found out that Sher Shah used to keep mostly Afghans in the army. How do you think it was of help? Unmute.
Ma'am,
Can I try?
I can tell.
No. Whose turn is it? Tomogno. Tomogno, tell. How do you think keeping Afghans in the army was something good?
ma'am, I don't know.
So basically, when Afghans are there, Afghans have always been good soldiers. And what
Yes,
else
ma'am.
can it be? Yes, who wanted to try?
Can I,
Shirika,
ma'am,
you
I
can start
tell? Please.
sharing.
Yes, ma'am, I
I
can
can.
try.
Please,
I
I
can
will try.
Ma'am, I can try.
Sure.
I'm-
1 minute. Shombit, give me 1 point.
Ma'am, another point can be that in those times, Afghans were very strong men and they could help Sher Shah build a stronger army.
They could help him build a strong army. Okay, Shisho, what is your point?
Yes, ma'am. The Afghans, they were brave, they were courageous, they were physically very strong. So, same deal as Shombit,
Absolutely. And he himself was an Afghan. So his
Yes, I
the
wanted to say that.
loyalty factor.
They were
Am I one
trustworthy.
second?
He
They were
could control
trustworthy.
those people in such a way in terms of loyalty and all.
And they had the same,
They
and
were
they had
more
the same
trustworthy.
conditions. Whatever, they were Afghans. They knew what was at stake.
Yeah, main
All of
thing
them.
is, he could tell them that if all Afghans come together, we can rule the land, and also it was easy to, have a stronger army. The loyalty of the army will be towards an Afghan leader more than a Mughal to defeat the Mughals.
Ma'am,
Yes,
also
yes,
with the
because
Afghans,
they-
he could
they can be
conquer
more
more
Shrinika, why
land.
are you not
that.
starting to
Conquer more
Ma'am, can
land.
you hear?
1 minute. Yes, I can hear you. Please start.
Me, I'm starting, Sher. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Anamitra, what were you saying?
I was saying that with the help of the Afghans, as they are very strong men, Shesha could also build a very he could also build a very strong army and gain more land. He could conquer more
He can
areas
also, that strong
of
army
India
point is
and
getting repeated.
countries.
Absolutely. Okay, continue. Shinika.
Yes, ma'am. So I have made my presentation on Shesha Suri's land revenue. Okay. So first, we have to know about Shesha Suri. So he was born as Farid Khan and was the founder of the Suri Empire in India, with its capital in modern-day Bihar. He introduced the currency of rupee, which is silver coin, mohar, which is gold coin, and dam, which is copper coin. And he took control of the Mughal Empire in 1540 and ruled for 5 years. But after his tragic accidental death in 1545, his son Islam Shah Suri became
His son Islam Shah Shuri became?
successor.
Hello.
Ma'am, these are
Then
some points about. Okay, everything is paused right now. Ma'am, I cannot hear you.
Shrenika, I think you are lagging.
Shrenika is lagging for you.
Shrenika, hello.
yes, net is very bad. I know. Hello.
Shrenika, go to next slide.
Shrenika is getting logged out here. She is paused.
Shrinika
Yes,
got
she
logged
got
out.
logged
Okay, let her come. In the meantime, Srijoni is here. Srijoni? I cannot see Srijoni.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, she's
Soma?
offline.
Yes, ma'am, I got logged out, ma'am.
Okay, Shrinika is back.
I
Yes,
cannot-
Shrinika, start.
Yes, I could not hear anyone.
Continue.
Yes, now can you see?
I can.
Okay, so
yes.
these are some facts about him. Should I tell the facts?
Yes,
That
absolutely.
he founded the. Okay. He died on May 22nd, 1545, and as I told, he founded the Suri Empire, which ruled from 1540 to 1556, issued the first rupiah during his rule, and also revived the city of Pataliputra as Patna, and is also famous for killing a tiger with his bare hands. That's why it's written the Lion King of India or Sher Khan of India. We used to call him. He defeated Sultan Mahmud Shah of Bengal, consolidated Bihar, fought for his father's Jagir, served under Afghan nobles, and his father was a Jagirdar of Jaunpur. Now I'm
Next.
going to the next slide. It's land revenue. So he was the first Muslim ruler who got the whole of the land measured and fixed the land tax on it.
Again, you got logged out. Hello. 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 You again got logged out.
Okay. Stop. Okay, ma'am has joined.
Hey, Rudraksh.
Extremely poor network.
Sorry, by mistake it has happened.
And Shambhuddha, okay. But when will you do it? I don't know then. If this way it continues class after class.
Yes, ma'am, now you can hear me?
Mine
Okay, I was telling him land revenue. So he was the first Muslim ruler who got the whole of the land measured and fixed the land tax on it on just and fair principles. And the land of each peasant was measured first in bighas, and then half of it was fixed as the land tax. Ma'am, we still use the word bighas in Bengali. Like I've heard everyone tell
Baish
the
big.
word.
Absolutely.
Yes, like that. And every peasant was given a written document in which the share of the government was clearly mentioned so that no officer might cheat the innocent peasant. Ma'am, this is known as, how will I pronounce this word?
Patta,
The
patta.
patta.
System.
Okay,
Patta and Kabuli.
okay.
What is the
And
patta?
okay, ma'am. And every peasant was given the option to pay the land tax either in cash or in kind. And the subjects of Shesha used to Kabul, which is promise that they should pay taxes in lieu of patta. Strict orders had also been issued to the revenue authorities that leniency might be shown while fixing the land tax, but strictness in the collection therefore should be the rule. But suitable subsidy was granted to the farmers in the time of drought, famine, or floods from the royal treasury. Slide number 5. Special orders were issued to soldiers that they should not damage the standing crops in any way. And Shesha led many expeditions. So in that time, when he led expedition to the territory of his enemy, he was very particular about it, that no harm shall come to the farmers in any way from the excesses of his soldiers. And in case of damages, compensation was granted to the farmer by the government. This arrangement of Shesha was as reasonable as was adopted not by Akbar only, but was followed by the British government also. And the well-known Rayatwari system, which has been in wake till now, was not founded by Akbar, but by Shesha. So,
Right.
ma'am, I have wrote a little about what.
Thank you. Good. Can you
Okay,
explain
and one thing,
what
ma'am.
is this Rayatwari system, and
Yes,
how did this system take inspiration from Shesha's system? So what is this
Okay, ma'am.
Rayatwari system?
So first, as written in this system, the peasants or cultivators were regarded as the owners of their own land, and they also had their own ownership rights that they could sell, mortgage, or give the land. And the taxes were directly collected by the government from the peasants. And ma'am, as it is written that it was not like some things were not only adopted by Akbar but also were followed by the British government. So this was actually as written, it had been in vague till now. So ma'am, Thomas Munro actually brought this into India, like it was used at that point of time. So he was the.
Can you tell me what is the advantage of paying directly to the government than having a zamindari system?
Ma'am, I mean,
what if there is
so can I try?
There is a middleman.
Ma'am, nobody might. I mean, like nobody might cheat on them. Like they're directly giving it to the government.
Right. So cheating, taking extra. What the zamindars used to do is, in the zamindari system there was nothing fixed, and the zamindars used to collect extra. So whatever is the tax fixed by the government, peasants had to pay even more to please the zamindars. Here you are directly paying to the government, so there is no middleman whom you need to please. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Shrinika.
Okay.
Thank you. Good effort.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now I move on to Spandan, since I cannot see Srijani.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm minimizing the screen of the presentation. Otherwise, there was chances to be the laptop to get hanged.
Okay.
Shesha Suri, the royal administrator of medieval India. First, we need to know that who was actually Shesha Suri.
Even minimizing. Oh, now it is coming. Yes.
Shesha's real name was actually Farid Suri. He was the son of Hassan Suri, who was an Afghan Jagirdar or landowner. He was the founder of the Suri dynasty by defeating Humayun twice. At the age of 15 years, he left home and entered the service of Babur in 1527. He was given the title Sher Khan because of his courage, as he killed a tiger single-handedly.
Continue.
This presentation is about the military administration of Shesha. When Shesha came in the service of Babur, he closely studied the Mughal military techniques. It is because a good empire always needs a good defense system. When Shesha became the ruler, he organized an extremely efficient army and the military system. His large army comprised of cavalry, infantry, and elephants. In this file, we are going to learn about Shershah's military measures which helped in the development of our country. The first factor is strength. Shershah maintained a strong and tough army, just like Alauddin Khilji. His army included about 150,000 cavalry, 25,000 infantry, and about 5,000 war elephants. The next factor is recruitment. He did not depend on the Jagirdars for the supply of soldiers whenever needed by the Sultan. He maintained a direct link and made them direct loyal to him and not through Jagirdars.
So,
The next
can
factor.
you explain, Spondan, why did Shershah take this policy of not depending on Jagirdars?
Ma'am, mainly Jagirdars supply the army officials to the sultans, but he did not depend on the Jagirdars because he wanted to recruit the soldiers himself. So he does to know that which soldier is suitable.
They were suitable and they were very loyal to whom?
Loyal. Yes, ma'am.
Directly to whom? And the Jagirdars cannot exploit. And you know, if the Jagirdars have a big part of the army and everything, so they themselves can sometimes revolt. You have heard that nobles started revolting. Okay, continue.
Descriptive identification. With a view to checking fraudulent practices in army in inflating the figures of soldiers and horses, Shershah adopted the practices of maintaining the description hulia of the soldiers and that of branding dag of the horses. This descriptive identification we can also see in Alauddin Khilji's empire. Payment in cash. This is also another factor which Alauddin Khilji used. The soldiers were paid in cash, whereas most of the officers were given the jagirs. The next factor is supplementary armies. Besides sending army under the direct command of the Sultan, provincial governors, nobles, and subordinate rulers were also allowed to maintain their separate armies. The next one is mostly Afghans in the army. Afghans, as he was also an Afghan, most Afghans were loyal to him. Mostly, he recruited mostly Afghan soldiers from every part of the country and also from Afghanistan and gave them important posts in the army. The last and the most important factor is the discipline in the army. In the words of Kwanungo, the severe discipline in Shershah's camp in one campaign was sufficient to turn a raw recruit into a seasoned veteran.
So what do you mean by this? A raw recruit into a seasoned veteran. How do you think, what did he do to make this line come true?
Ma'am, he gave the people who is thought that they were capable of this position, the new people, he just gave them the duty and turned them into seasoned veteran. That means the more important position in the army. That means Shershah gave them chances